Hello. On behalf of Tanzanian delegate, Anifa and Sophia have already left back to Tanzania as they have other official duties, which their presence is much of required there. So I'll be the only one to present. And I have 45 minutes. I don't know if I can use them or much of this. So firstly, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to the Academy for organizing this summit, and to IAWJ, and especially Susan Medina, our former president, for organizing and facilitating the summit, the generosity and financial support of Ms. Jennifer Gross and the summit, and everyone who has made possible my attendance and participation. Much have been said on the issue, because I think almost we are facing the same challenges. Trafficking could be by false promises or force. There are various causes depending on where the victims come from. And in Tanzania, these include a need of money for traffickers or in poor families, lack of education, unemployment. Unemployment, fractured families, political instability, religious belief, corruption, weak legislations, immigration policies, witchcraft, killings of people living with albinism. In recent years, the fighting against the trafficking in person has gained much prominence in international and regional forums, which resulted in the adoption of international instruments and the launching of several programs to address this crime. Proof of this is our meeting for these 2 days. Why Africa? Because we are the most affected continent within our countries and across our borders. Thus, all law enforcing agents are herein representing to try find a solution to this vice. Hope we come up with great recommendations. So the measures taken by the Tanzania government, the legislative measures, international instruments, we have signed the protocol, the Palermo Protocol. Domestic laws, we have enacted the Anti-Trafficking in Person Act, Act number 6 of 2008. We have developed the Anti-Trafficking in Persons regulations, the Anti-Trafficking in Person Prevention, Protection and Treatment regulations of 2015, the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Center for Protection and Assistance to Victims of Trafficking in Person regulation of 2015. We also have taken police measures. We had 2 former national action plans. The first one was from 2015 to from 2013 to 2015, and the second one was from 2015 to 2017, and now we have a new one, which has started in July 2018 to 2021. The government developed the standard operating procedures in the second national action plan, which has already expired, but we have adopted the same issues, that is developing the standard operating procedures for identification and assistance to victims of trafficking in person. We have also established the standard operating procedures for protecting, assisting, and referring trafficked children. The establishment of a directory of services providers for victims of human trafficking. We have developed a manual for civil society organization of the Tanzania Anti-Trafficking in Person Act. We have also developed a training manual for the law enforcers. We have developed guidelines for the safe family reunification for children victims of trafficking. The government also, in enhancement of investigation, the Anti-Trafficking Committee and the Anti-Trafficking Secretariat, in collaboration with the police and migration, had some 35 cases which have been investigated in 2017 to 2018. And on the side of prosecution, 26 cases have been prosecuted in 2017 to 2018, I mean up to this November, and whereby 13 cases perpetrators were convicted. The government has also established a victim assistance and witness protection. The government, in collaboration with NGO, civil society organization, and faith-based organization, has been assisting victims of TIP by providing shelters, counseling, and training before they are integrated or unified with their families. In the year of 2017, almost 5 to 7 victims were rescued and assisted. During the lifespan of the first Nation Action Plan, the Secretariat attended a total of 186 victims, out of which 185 were female and only one was a male. Among the victims attended, there were 110 Tanzanians, 13 Burundians nationals, 1 South African, 2 Pakistanians, 30 Indians, and 25 Nepalese. The government has also built capacity to almost 800 law enforcing officers, who include the police, migration officers, magistrate, as well as public prosecutors from different regions, have been trained as from 2016 to 2018. This is in collaboration with Lawyers Without Borders. I think Judge Ann Williams, the retired judge, she came several times in our country for those trainings, so we thank you very much for that. The impact of these trainings have been significant in the number of cases reported, number of victims rescued and assisted, number of cases prosecuted, and number of perpetrators convicted. However, much is to be done in this area to reach a large section of the stakeholders and members in the community. The challenges, as we've already heard from the other participant, the challenges are almost the same to every country. So the challenges are the lack of resources, commitment to detect and identify cases, protection of victims, and training of officials. Difficult in prosecution, as there are inherent evidential difficulties for police and prosecutors in establishing criminal offense of such complex nature to the standard of proof required. Mismatch between trafficking in person and smuggling. Lack of sufficient one-stop centers and victim and witness support and protection centers, because in Tanzania, the government does not have these centers. We use the centers from the faith-based organization or the civil society organization centers. Reluctance to share information among the stakeholders, as JIP information is classified as confidential by other stakeholders. Also, there is lack of collaboration by stakeholders, different agencies collecting data for individual use and not sharing the same. We have the way forward. We are now working on the third National Action Plan, which covers a period of 3 years from July 2018 to June 2021. In order for it to reap the expected fruits, we need to have the followings. Government commitment. The government has committed itself to fight trafficking in person by enacting some legislation and by putting in place a national policy. However, other stakeholders have also to be actively committed in order for the fight to be successful. Such efforts ought to be recognized by the government and, where possible, rewarded. Stakeholders' participation. Trafficking in persons affects the whole society. Efforts to combat and prevent it require support and cooperation of all stakeholders, who include international organizations, development partners, and community groups, in order to obtain collective and positive response and actions. Close engagements and illustrations with civil society organizations, the private sector, and other interested parties, including international organizations, are equally important. Third, human right-based treatment of victims. In solidifying the effect for victims, protection and rehabilitation, collaboration with SCOs and other stakeholders need to be strengthened. We also need to establish one-stop centers. Basic facilities and necessity must be made available for victims' comfort. Victims should be made to feel safe, secure, and protected. Thus, provision of shelter and other necessary facilities conforming to the minimum international standards are required to be put in place. Okay, let me go quickly to the conclusion. So, as law enforcing agent, we should not only end up networking in these conferences, we should share investigation technique, share court decision by establishing TIP cases manuals, personal participate in awareness programs through our judgments, media, conferences, and all places of worshiping. By joining our efforts and experience, we can leave a legacy. So thank you for listening.